Welcome to today's webinar, Video Marketing for Insurance Agents. And what we're going to be looking at today is an approach for growing your insurance business. We're going to be talking about how to use video to pre-sell your services before a prospect even contacts you, how to get them pre-positioned, ready to buy before you even begin that initial sales conversation. And so this is all about positioning, putting yourself in the place of the expert, the authority, and making that sales process easier. So I'm glad you've taken a few minutes out to join me today. And hopefully this will be a very beneficial time for you. If this is your first time to join us on one of our webinars, a little quick background on me. My name's Carl Willis. I am the CEO at Agent Branding and Marketing. I've been marketing online since 1997, back in the days of dial-up. My first business was selling vases on eBay. I think I had a 28.8 modem at that time and a CompuServe account. I'm the author of Internet Marketing for Home Remodeling Companies and also Internet Marketing for Small Businesses. I'm the creator of the Marketing Classroom. I'm an international keynote speaker on business growth and lead generation, and widely accepted as a go-to expert in internet marketing for insurance agents, for home remodeling contractors, and other verticals as well. And I've worked with companies across the U.S. and internationally. And then this ecosystem, and it's the wrong graphic, I should have switched it out. We use this, we actually have two agencies, one that works in the contractor space and then also agent branding and marketing, but the ecosystem is still the same for both. It's going to involve SEO, PPC, retargeting, paid directories, your referrals, your pay-per lead, your social media, all of those things. And what we're going to talk about today with video marketing really fits into the SEO and the social media pieces of this pie. It can also fit into your pay-per-click side of the pie, but predominantly it's going to be in your SEO and your social media pieces of the ecosystem. And so when we talk about video, here's what we really want to get into in our conversation today. Why do you need to be thinking about video in 2025? And it's because video creates an emotional engagement. You have to remember that people make buying decisions first with emotion, and then they support those decisions with logic. And so using video creates that emotional engagement. It stirs the emotion, it builds credibility, and what it does is it helps you stand out in a very crowded marketplace. And so what I'm going to do today is really show you how to make this simple and effective, even if you've never made a video before. And what I want to help you understand is, although there is a lot of video out there, really very few agents are really leveraging video in an effective manner. And so the field really is still wide open for you as an agent to utilize video and get a competitive edge on the other agents who are out there competing against you. But here's some other things I want you to understand about video in today's environment. Number one, it's going to increase trust because people can see you, they can hear you, and they feel that immediate connection with you. It's also going to allow you to simplify those complex topics, and it's going to help make your agency memorable. And that's really what we need to do. We need to make you memorable. We need to make you sticky. And I want you to notice this chart here on the right. It creates 80% higher conversions when compared to other modalities of putting forth information. So I told you that I started marketing online in 1997. So really, even from my earliest days of marketing, one of the things that we've always known is that video outperforms textual advertising when it comes to conversion rates. So back in my early days of affiliate marketing, if I ran a text-based landing page versus a video-based landing page, typically the conversion rate was 3 times higher on the video-based landing page. Video always typically wins because of higher trust factor, higher emotional engagement, and it's just more memorable. And so we really want to lean into the advantages that video gives us. And so when we're using video, what we're really able to do is we're able to sell before we have that first conversation with our prospect. One of the things you have to keep in mind is most prospects have already made up their mind before they make the first contact with you. They've already been doing their due diligence, they've already been doing their research. And especially now with the AI assisted answers on the search engines, that due diligence is really put in front of them immediately when they make that search. And so recommendations, all of the information they would want to have at their disposal in their decision-making process is being offered up to them at the time of the initial search. And so once they reach out to you, they really have made the majority of that decision by the time they make that first contact. So think of your video as your digital salesperson. It's working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to qualify, warm up, and excite your audience. And when it's done right, a video can handle objections before they're ever raised. And so when you look at this funnel illustration, your video content is at the top of the funnel, raising awareness. And then you have additional content that is working the middle of the funnel, increasing trust and raising the understanding of your audience. And then you have video content that is working the bottom half of the funnel. That is the call to action videos that are driving those appointments and those leads. And so what we're doing with that video is we are pre-framing the client experience for them. We want them to understand what the process is going to be like. We want them to understand what they can expect as they interact with us and with our team. We want to eliminate the uncertainties that they may have with that first call. We want to also make sure that we are creating trust with that prospect so that they feel comfortable reaching out to us and scheduling that appointment and going further in the process with us. And so as we move them through the funnel, what we're going to find is that we get a much better quality of prospect, that we get much more repeat business, we get much more referral business, because we have done all of our selling, all of our objection handling, all of those things on the front end before we ever get into these deeper conversations. So let's talk about really 3 types of videos that we want to incorporate into our funnel process. And what we're going to do is we're going to stack these video types, and we're going to stack them in different platforms to make this most effective. So the first type that we're going to use is a services overview. And these videos are simply going to introduce your services in just very plain, easy to understand language. Think of this as being your elevator pitch, if you will, but it's on camera and it's always available. So these videos would be 30 to 60 seconds in length. And let me focus on that piece for just a moment, because 30 to 60 seconds is the sweet spot for the algorithms on the platforms today. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube all love these 30 to 60-second videos. If you're using TikTok, of course, TikTok is driven by these 60-second or less videos. But in particular, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, those algorithms specifically are looking for these short duration videos, 60-second or less, and they give increased organic exposure to those videos. The algorithm is actually trained to focus on that type of content. So in those videos, what you want to focus on is client benefits. What's in it for the client? And you want to use clear and jargon-free language. And so we've given you an example up here. It's protect what matters most, home insurance explained. So that could be your 30 to 60-second video. And then when you create that video, you want to deploy it as many places as possible. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Second type of video that you want to create is a meet the team video. And what this does is it humanizes your agency. You have to remember, people buy from people that they feel connected to. We do business with those we know, like, and trust. And so a short team intro video can make your agency more relatable, and it can make it more trusted. So what it does is it builds connection and familiarity with the team. It will showcase your authenticity and warmth, and it lets clients meet their agent before the first call. Here's the other thing that I want to bring out to you is these videos allow you to display the personality of your agency or of you as the agent. And this is important because one of the things we have to win online is the personality contest. Now, in days gone by, we did that by networking. So we would go to BNI, we'd go to chamber mixers, we'd go to other networking events, and the way we really won the prospecting competition is we put our personality on display. And we began to draw people to us who were attracted to our personality, the way we carried ourselves, the way we communicated and presented ourselves. Well, now in the online world, video is the way that we do that. We still have to present that personality. So is your agency a fun place? Are you a fun person? Are you into sports? Are you into dogs? Are you family oriented? Do you love hanging out with your grandkids or your children? You've got to showcase those things in your video because people are looking for who resonates best with me, who understands me best. That's who I want to do business with. And then the third type of video that we want to work with is the frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions are going to help scale your time. So instead of answering the same questions over and over and over again, refer clients to just a friendly video that answers the questions that you tend to receive most often. Like, for example, why did my insurance rates go up? So answer these common questions: premiums, coverage changes, anything that you find you or your team is answering on a regular basis. Create a quick video about it and then refer your customers to that video. It's just going to help things work more efficiently. It's also going to help with the process, especially pre-sales. If there are questions that you're commonly getting or points of resistance that you're commonly getting, create a video on that so that those who are not yet your customers can already deal with the resistance pieces before they get to you. Reduce those repetitive explanations by using these videos. But more importantly, what you're doing here is you're positioning yourself as an expert because you've already thought about what's on the mind of your prospect or what's on the mind of your existing customer. And that makes you a greater expert in the eyes of the consumer. And then you want to leverage testimonials. And this is super critical. A well shot testimonial will beat a written review every single time because video is going to let people see the satisfaction and it's going to let them hear the relief in the voice of your clients. So be sure and feature real client stories. So we've got the quote here on this one: they made switching easy and stress-free. That's a great testimonial. So use emotional and practical language in those testimonials and then showcase a diversity of clients because people are looking for people who are just like them, people they can resonate with. And so use these testimonials to your advantage. These are a gold mine. So anytime you've got somebody who says, man, I just love the service you provide, I love your agency, I love what you've done for me, would you mind recording a quick video for me so that people just like you can find where they can get the same kind of great service and experience that you've had? Just make that a regular part of what you're doing within your business. You also have the educational series, and this is powerful stuff. This is part of positioning yourself as the expert. Because when your community sees you as a source of helpful information and not just a salesperson, you earn top of mind status and you build long term trust. So create some educational content. We've got a couple of examples here: flood insurance tips before hurricane season, or Medicare open enrollment changes for 2025. So position yourself as a community resource. Cover those seasonal changes or new laws that are going to affect the consumer. And then keep your content relevant and consistent. But again, you're going to have a competitive edge because you are informing the consumer about things that nobody else is talking about. It positions you as the go-to expert and the knowledgeable industry expert in your local community and in the areas that you serve. Now, once you've created these different types of video, what I talked about before is you're going to want to stack these. So you don't want to just go one type of video. You want to mix and match and diversify these videos. And then you want to stack where you deploy these videos. And so let's talk about, where do you place these videos? Because video really belongs in every part of your digital presence, from your website to your text messages. And the reason for that is your goal is to meet your clients where they already are doing business, where they already are active, where they are already scrolling and searching. One of the things you're going to see next time you do a Google search, look at the top of the page and you're going to see one of the new categories is short video. So now it's news, images, short video, forums, shopping. So Google is now looking for short video. And so it's part of the footprint that Google is paying attention to. And Google's AI responses are in particular taking note of video content as part of their response. So here's our recommendations as to where you want to use video. You want to use video on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, in your emails, in your texts. You want to use it on your website. You want to use it on your Google business profile. Those are all key places to have your video. And what it's going to do is it's going to stack your visibility. What Google's algorithm is going to see is that your video footprint is in multiple locations. What that does is it raises your topical authority on the subject matter. And so use that video on website and landing pages, email and SMS campaigns, social media, Google Business Profile, and then, of course, YouTube for discoverability. And what this is going to do is it's going to maximize the effectiveness of that video. It's going to get it indexed in more places. It's going to make it more visible to more audiences. And it's going to allow you to repurpose that one piece of content multiple times. So I want you to think about this. One video can actually get you usage in upwards of 6 or 7 different locations that prospects may be looking at you from. And that's really what we want to create, is an omnipresence everywhere that your prospect may be. That's where we want you to be also. We want you to be inescapable to that prospect. And by doing so, it makes you more of an authority in the mind of that prospect. Now, when we're talking about video, sometimes people get caught up in their own misgivings about perfectionism. And so let me stress this. You don't need Hollywood studio quality gear to do great video. In today's world, a good smartphone takes amazing video. And here's really the one thing you do want to pay attention to is lighting. So get yourself a ring light, or make sure that you just have good lighting wherever it is that you are going to record your video. And then have the right structure, background. Background's the other thing you want to pay attention to. So if you're going to record video somewhere, make sure that there's not a porta toilet behind you. Make sure that you don't have some kind of distraction going on in the background. But more than anything, make sure the lighting is good. Bad lighting can make a good video go south quickly. So our tips are: get the right tools. So use something like Loom or Canva or Clipchamp for your video production and editing. If you've got a Mac, you can use iMovie for that. You can use the Windows movie program for that. Keep it short. 60 seconds or less is perfect. People's attention spans are terrible. If you look at YouTube analysis of video viewing times, normally it drops at about the 45-second mark. So keep it short, focused, and well lit. And then don't forget the call to action. I like to put those calls to action either at the front, middle, or very quickly at the end. Front's pretty good though. You can always start off at the front, but make sure that you keep it interesting so that people will want to watch what it is you have to say. So grab their attention, keep it tight, keep it focused, and you're going to put out great videos over and over again. Now, let's give you an example here. We're going to use Agent Jane. We're going to talk about her hypothetical video funnel. And so Agent Jane adds 3 core videos to her homepage and emails. She adds an FAQ video, she adds a testimonial video, and then she adds a general knowledge video to her homepage. And then she also sends out those videos by email. And so, sure, Chris, call to action would be something very simple. Let's say you are giving a quick video on life insurance, and your call to action might be something very simple. If you would like to have a quick review of your life insurance needs and what works for your particular situation, give me a call today at this phone number. Or you might use a quick call to action. Let's say you're an auto insurance agent. If you'd like me to compare coverage with your current coverage, give me a call today at this phone number. So it's just a quick give me a call, fill out the form, and how do I do that? So all you're doing is directing traffic. How do they contact you? Is that by phone, by form, by email? What does that look like? And what's the action you want them to take? So in Jane's case, she adds her 3 core videos. She puts them on the homepage. She sends them out by email. And so prospects watch the videos before scheduling. The result is the leads that come in, they're more confident because they're already pre-positioned to have the conversation with her. They've had more of their questions answered. And so it takes fewer calls for her to close new business. And that's really what we want. We want to put as few steps in between that initial conversation and the closing conversation as possible by answering as many questions as possible and removing as much resistance as possible using video to do that. In our business, we often will use video sales letters as part of our process to where we'll talk through pain points, frequently asked questions, and the sales process. What could a person expect once they schedule with us as part of our process? That way, we've answered a lot of the questions. So when they get to our strategy calls, we're not having to answer those questions. It's really dealing with the individual customer's needs and have we met the right solution for those needs and can we agree on a pricing structure? So it just streamlines the sales process, gets a lot of the resistance out of the way. Now, how can we help? This is kind of our call to action, Chris. How can ABM help? So one of the things we have is we do have programs where we do some done for you video creation. So you put together your video, we'll chop it up into shorts and reels for you. We also have a program where we'll do longer form video. If you want to make a longer videos, we can do that. We put together integrated funnels and ads, and of course, we've got experts that help design all of that for you along the way. So that's what I have in my portion of the presentation. I want to open this up for any questions and answers. If you've got questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. I find that posting on Google Business 3 times a week is kind of the sweet spot. You want to post on there enough that Google recognizes it is an active place. And what you'll find is if you're posting 3 times a week, you are probably posting more than your competition. And so you have to remember Google's AI right now is based on signals. And so every time you're posting to that Google business profile, you're sending an activity signal. And so 3 times a week, it will give you a very strong activity signal on that profile. Great question. Any other questions? You don't have to show your face in the video, but I will tell you this, videos where you have your face in the video actually perform better in the algorithms. The algorithm does recognize that there is a person in that video, and so it will perform better in the algorithm. The other thing is if the consumer is going to work directly with you, you're going to find that from a sales standpoint, the videos are going to perform better if you're the person they're going to be working with, if you're the person in the video. And the reason for that is it elevates the level of trust and it lowers the level of sales resistance. You have to remember People make sales decisions based on emotion first, and they support that with logic. And so if they're unsure who they're going to be speaking with, it creates a bit of anxiety. And the natural response to anxiety is fear, and the natural response to fear is fight or flight. And so we don't want your prospect wanting to run away from you or fight with you. We'd rather have them feeling comfortable and safe with you. And so it's always preferable if your face is in the video because it creates familiarity, security, and comfort. So that's the preference. But if you're not comfortable with that, obviously you don't have to. Just realize that you are somewhat removing some of the intention of using video, and you're still going to have to overcome some of that resistance once you get into the actual connection point because they haven't felt safe with you yet. Sure, I'd be happy to share a sample with you. Give me just a second to take down my screen share, and I'll pull one up here. Yeah, we'll just go to Google and we'll let Google lead the way here. I was telling you that Google now has a new category called short videos when you do a Google search, and I'll show this to you here momentarily. Pull the chat back up. What line of insurance do you cover? Are you PNC or are you doing life and health? Okay, so let's do health. And I'm in Wichita. So this is what I want to show you. When you do searches now, short videos is one of the categories. So let's find somebody who is doing one right here. Now you may not be able to hear this. Yeah, here, I'll take my headphones out so you can hear her video.
And wait, because I'm about to cry. Hold up.
So they're targeting 26-year-olds, that generation, and so they've got this video of somebody about that age
And
getting a little freaked out about having to figure out health insurance.
I'm about to cry. Hold up.
So that's their video. So that one was on Instagram. Let's find one with an actual agent talking about health insurance. Here's a YouTube.
One of the questions we actually help our small businesses answer is, Jason, I've got this employee that I've trained for the last 12 months. I'm finally getting to the point where they're profitable for my company, and they decide to leave me, go work for my competitor who's a little bit larger for less money per hour, but they have health insurance. So how do we think differently on how to put together a set of benefits that is a win-win-win for an employer, an employee, and a health insurance company? Well, what we recommend our small companies do is, rather than pool risk together among 4 or 5 people, is to move past that and hand money directly to employees that empowers them to purchase health insurance on their own. When that happens, some really cool things happen. Potentially, those folks can take the employer's money plus some of Uncle Sam's money through the Affordable Care Act and put them both together. But at the end of the day, by empowering employees to buy health insurance that works best for them, it limits the financial liability of that small business owner.
So those are a couple of examples, just like that. Yeah. So one is a teaching video where they're educating, and that one was a great video. So educating The other one was more comical, but it's because of the audience they're going after. They were going after somebody that's in their, early to mid 20s. And so they took a little different approach with that. But the second one is more of what you're going to want to look at for that. Here's another one. We'll just take a look at another one just to get a little different flavor. So any of those are great examples of how to make that work. The biggest thing I wanted you to see, though, above and beyond anything, is that Google is indexing those. So I was searching for health insurance, Wichita, Kansas, and Google was pulling Instagram videos, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, Facebook videos. So all of those were being pulled in. And if you notice what they were pulling in these videos of 60 seconds or less. So that's what they were pulling across the board. So that's why I'm telling you the algorithm is looking for these short form videos, but these videos are a great way for you to pre-sell, to deal with sales resistance, to answer the frequently asked questions, to show off your team, show off your community involvement, and really get people pre-positioned to buy before they ever get to you. So we use video extensively as part of our sales process. So if you go to YouTube and look for agent branding and marketing, we have a couple of hundred videos on our channel. And a normal conversation of people who come to us is they will tell us, yeah, I've been watching your videos. And that is my favorite phrase to hear when somebody drops on our sales calendar, because that means they are already familiar with us. They have already listened to a lot of our content. They already know a lot about how we operate. We've answered many of the questions that they're already going to have. And so generally, we get very little sales resistance. And what we find is they tend to be some of our best long-term customers as far as their longevity and as far as just the quality of the relationship that we have with them as a customer. So I am 100% a raving fan of having video as a big driver within your agency and within your business. Any other questions? All right. Well, that being the case, final slide. If we can help you figure out the strategy for your agency and for your business, feel free to schedule a strategy session with us. You can do that at agentbrandingandmarketing.com/schedule, or you can call us at 888-572-8758. And appreciate you taking some time out of your day today. Hope you found this helpful, and we'll have another webinar same time next month, and we'll be putting out the topic here in the next few weeks. Hope you have a great day and wish you the best of success in your business.